Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Catherine.
You look so pretty in bright orange today.
Thank you.
I decided to go with many shades of gray to sport what I'm doing with my hair. I'm really happy to be here today. Of course, I'm happy to be here. We both are every week. And I want to thank everybody for joining us and for a really interesting week of great questions and interactions. What a week, huh? On
Yes, it
many
has been a
levels.
great week with everybody sending questions in.
It's funny how the spring brings new things. So I'll jump and say we're getting closer to spring. We are. We're not looking at winter. And people have different ideas about what needs to get done. And I find that some of the questions and the conversations we're having are around, I should hurry up and do this, and I should hurry up and get this done. And I want to hurry up and make sure. So everybody that I'm speaking to is sort of in this, I want to hurry up and get it done mode, which is great. And we can speak to that in our group tonight, whenever you're watching in the morning. We're here speaking to you at 8:30 Eastern and 7:30 Central every Monday. And we have some new things in this group. Maybe we can outline a little bit about what's going to happen here tonight. Would you like? I'll start, Lori, and then maybe you can fill in some of the details. Okay. So you're here in the Gratitude Girls private coaching and training group, and we're thrilled that you're here. You were either invited by one of us or you decided to join us through our website, thegratitudegirls.com. And this coaching is gratitude coaching, and we are going to focus on business tonight. So if you're screening yourself or screening the call, oh my goodness, if you're screening the videos and you're scrolling through to see what is this one about, tonight we're going to hit some subjects strictly on business. Of course, gratitude is always part of what we do. It's important, and we talk about how to have gratitude in your life, but we also want to be able to give you added value. And the way we'll do that is we will speak to you in this group right here, and then we're going to mosey on over to a private dining room. Lori, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely. So what we do is we are here with you live for 15 minutes right here in the group. We're going to give you some different tips, tricks, ideas, things that can help you both in your personal as well as your business life. And then we are going to invite you to open up your Zoom app and type in the code Lori Delk, all lowercase, no space. And that's going to bring you into our private Zoom room where we have one-on-one or several on one, but small group coaching. So each Monday night now we are doing 15 minutes of teaching and training. And then you can come get with us live in the small group. So sometimes there might be one person, sometimes there might be 5, sometimes there might be 10 people, but it's a small group and we coach right there live, right on the spot till about 9:30 Eastern. And so but the first 15 minutes we're just giving you live training. So, and if you want more information on that or the one-on-one completely private training just for you, then go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Try it on for size. Here's my question to you. Have you ever had really intense private coaching? And intense is not the word like intense, you're going to be upset. Intense, focused. Have you dabbled in coaching? You're here, so you certainly are not new to it. But have you had one-on-one, roll up your sleeves, bring the subject, put all the cards on the table, no pun intended for send out cards, and get right to the root of the problem, as I did with the new 50 Shades of Grey. So to make a little joke out of this, I had a bit of a problem reaction to hair spray dye. And I went to sleep saying, I'm going to get to the root of the problem. And I woke up the next day and I found out I literally had the root of the problem, which is what caused it. If you've never done that, that's what you could expect when you're working with Lori and I. Get to the root and solve it. So let's start tonight. I guess I'll put my timer on, Lori, just for the sake of timing. Let's talk a little bit about selling and mastering the fundamentals of selling. I have notes. We always have notes. I learn by writing. All right, let's talk about preparing. Do you shoot from the hip? Do you say, I'm going to wing it? I got that. I don't really need to plan or prepare. I have all that information. I'll just walk into that meeting because I can pull it out of thin air. Are you one of those? We've all done it, but is it one of your habits? Because if it's a habit, you can consider it a deadly habit. It's a quick way to get to the death of a sale. Oh, and I don't want to be melodramatic, but if you're not prepared and you're shooting from the hips and you don't know what it is that you're walking into and the information that you're going to be presenting, and if you're not sure, and I was going to make up a new word there, of your sales and your percentages and your ratios, if you're not aware of these things, you will be planning the death of a sale.
Yes, definitely. I remember reading one of my favorite speakers, Zig Ziglar, and he spoke so many times on the same topic. And although he had so many different topics, but he was like one of my favorites. So I probably saw him live and in person at least 100 times, if not more. And of course, I've read every single one of his books. So a lot of his stories I've heard over and over anyway, but still, he said, as well as anybody else that is a real expert in sales, says practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect, right? We're always taught that too. Drilling and rehearsing, going over your lines, saying your presentation. Zig would say he would say his presentation in the bathroom mirror, pretending he was talking to a crowd when he was seeing himself in the mirror. But that way he could also see what his facial expressions looked like when he was giving his presentation. And then saying it over and over, he could have it memorized. So he wasn't having to look at note cards. He would say it right to people's eyes, right? He would find somebody and connect with people in the audience rather than constantly looking at notes. So I'm sure if you've seen other different speakers, you've noticed that some talk to you, they connect with you, and then some they might look up here and there, but a lot of times they're looking down at notes, right? So which one are you really connecting with? Which one do you feel that connection with? When they see you and you see them eye to eye, or when they're constantly looking down at other things, right? And so there's always going to be like obstacles that might come up, but the more you're prepared, then the better you're going to be to overcome any obstacles that are going to come your way. And then you can just slide right over those obstacles instead of going boop, boop, and going around them.
Right. You don't want to hit any bumps. Those are such great points, Lori. And I'm thinking about preparing. How do we prepare at this moment, at this point in time? Knowing our content is really important, like Lori said. I mean, I wrote notes, so I have my notes here. I've placed them here. I could place them up here. So that way, when I look at them, I'm closer to the camera in terms of presenting. When I'm looking at you straight in your eye, you're going to feel that connection. So knowing what you're going to say and do is important, and how you're going to do it. So let's talk about, you get in the car and you drive to a meeting and you know the directions, you use Waze or GPS. What is the GPS? What do you use to get to your meeting now if you're on Zoom or any platform that is like this, digital, electronic, whether you're using FaceTime. What is the navigation that you use? Because that's preparing. If you just hop on, let me just put FaceTime on my phone. Let me just hop on Zoom. I'll just click on that. Well, I live in the country and I'm hardwired, so I don't have to use Wi-Fi. That's a great thing. But I don't just walk into the room and say, there's my meeting. It's in 5 minutes, because we never know what's going to happen. So knowing our content and knowing our way around is the same as getting in the car and saying, oh, I hit traffic. I got lost. I thought I was going to be here 10 minutes earlier. Okay, that's not really rehearsing. And that's not knowing your way around. Those are excuses. So what I want to say about being prepared is, don't be prepared with excuses. Be prepared with solutions so that you can make it to your meeting in a good frame of mind, not frazzled from what happened, if something happened, not distracted by the fact that you were rushing. Know what you're going to say, because if technology gets in the way, if you hit a bit of a glitch, you won't completely forget what was going to happen and then wing it because you were prepared, but something came up. So being prepared means thinking about all the things ahead that could happen. This is what we have to do. Even if we are magnificently talented and we perform like a rock star, there are things that we do before we get on live. So I'll share 3 little tips. I have a spray for my throat. It's to make sure that I don't lose my voice. I happen to have a Blue 42 product, which is for children, which is for colds, but it smells like peppermint, and it's a roll-on. And I never go anywhere without my City lip gloss. And I have a water bottle. As I'm prepared with my content, I have these things next to me, and I always have my phone as a backup. So whether you're on a 2-screen system or 3-screen or whatever you have, I always have a backup, so that if something goes wrong, I'm ready to hop on with my second piece of equipment.
Yes, the same thing, and as always, we always talk about we are so similar, right? So I have my water bottle. I have my lipstick. I have my face powder to powder my nose. I have my pen for my notes. And the same thing. And even though I live even way further out in the country, so far out, the closest even any kind of store is 30 minutes away. And so even though I am hardwired into my system, out here though, it's satellite internet. So I actually do toggle to my cell phone, because I toggle my desktop to my cell phone when I do these calls, because that actually gives me faster Wi-Fi with Verizon than my satellite internet that we're paying triple what I used to pay in town for. So we will be so excited when we get back to our good internet back in town, but it still works, right? So I still absolutely love it out here, but I will love it more when I have faster internet. But yes, and the same thing, one thing that I was thinking about when we were talking about this is managing, your activity, right? So we manage our activity of what we're going to do, and then we manage our activity of what we're doing in the quote sales process of all the things that you schedule for. So scheduling for your I've talked about this before, time blocking. I time block everything. And probably when people look at my calendar, they're like, really, you're semi-retired? But I still time block everything, because I want to keep track of what I'm doing when, how long I'm on social media, on Facebook, on the regular parts, or Instagram or LinkedIn, how much time I'm on messages on those devices, how much time I'm on emails, how much time I'm on texting, right? I limit all those different things, because you can go down a rabbit trail, right? Have you ever done that where you click on one thing and then it's like, oh, let me look at this? I mean, I've done that in my house, right? And most women can, I'm sure, relate to that, where you go to work on one thing and then it's like you see something else that, oh, well, that needs to be put back in this room. And then you see something in that room that needs to be done. So you work on that, even though your plan was to be on this room for the rest of the day, right? Or for that hour or whatever. So being diligent and no matter what, staying in your zone of whatever you're on and managing all your activities throughout the day is going to make it perfect to where you're going to end up succeeding rather than coming to the end of the day feeling like, I was busy all day, but I didn't really get anything done.
Great point. I love the analogies. And I'll throw in another analogy because we all deal with food and eating. If you had no plan for your food, if you didn't go food shopping, if you didn't prepare, what would happen? So I'll give you a tip. Plan it, follow it, and repeat. That means think about what you're going to do. So for your food, real quick, know what you want to eat. Maybe you want to maintain your weight. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to gain weight. You might have a budget. So let's talk about budgeting the same for time and money. If you have a budget for food and your budget is $100, so you know what you're going to buy for $100 and you know how long it has to last you. If you travel and you have a per diem of $50 a day, you know you have 3 meals to eat and you're going to eat one meal for $15 and another meal for $15 and another meal for $50 and they have $20 left over for snack bar, whatever. You know how to calculate that. So think about it as a per diem. Calculate your time and the information as if it were your money. So if you have 8 hours in the day that you sleep and the rest of the time you're awake, calculate how you use that time for your activities. In managing your activities, if you're going to track the money-making activities, maybe you make money when you're sleeping because you have online courses. Think about it as, how do I spend that time? What will I do when I go to the supermarket? What will I buy? Why am I buying it? What will I cook with it? What day will I eat it? I'm going to give a presentation on Monday. What am I going to say? How much time does it take me to prepare, to write it? How much time do I have to rehearse? And how long does it take me to give the presentation? So another quick way to a dead sale is to give a presentation and leave 0 time for follow-up or engagement. So let me say this again. You give a presentation and you go rogue. You don't follow up and you're not available to your audience so that they can get you. Because preparing and preparation isn't just, I'm performing, okay, I'm going somewhere else. So I recently spoke with a client who left $31,000 on the table. She presented to 31 participants who were pre-qualified for a $1,000 sale. And after all that work was done and she presented, she went rogue. She said, I'm busy. I'm busy until next week. So 31 participants who were pre-qualified had no way of taking the next step and making that sale, making that purchase. So when you prepare, don't only prepare for what you're doing, navigating, getting to your desktop, your laptop, getting to your phone, your tablet, getting in the car, driving to your meeting. Don't only prepare for what it is that you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Prepare for the follow-up and time after the meeting, a few minutes after. Hang out with us in the other room. And after that, make an appointment to hang out with us. Maybe the appointment has to be with some other person as a paid appointment. That's a choice. If you're looking to hang out with them, find out where else they hang out. Go on their social media, like them, communicate with them. Preparation is more than just the 5 minutes or 10 minutes you're going to speak to someone.
Yes, absolutely. And when you were talking, that reminded me of, so most of you know that I run, it's called the Nashville Networking Business Luncheon right here in Middle Tennessee, right? So I've done that for 16 years. So we meet all over Middle Tennessee in different cities. Plus, we do online now thanks to COVID. But it's a good thing right now because we added something. But I or Latif, any kind of chamber of commerce things that you might have been to for networking. And so, but for my groups, my 10-minute speaker is always some sort of like coach or trainer or teacher that teaches on something for 10 minutes rather than a sales spiel for something for 10 minutes, right? So I give my groups value. So I'm always looking for really good speakers. And so at one of my times, I had a new speaker and they came in and they spoke, they came in late. So my luncheon goes from 11:30 to 1. So, but 11:45, the speaker stops at 12. And then there's the food and passing, everybody does their 1-minute spiels, exchanges business cards, and then there's open networking at the end. This person came in late, right on time, like 1 minute before it was time for them to start speaking because they had my schedule. They spoke their 15 minutes. They didn't eat lunch with everybody, but they did go around and kind of talk to each person while the people were trying to eat. They were just talking to the people. And then when it was time to have open networking at the end, also, they left early. So 20 minutes early. So the same thing, leaving money on the table. This person could have they're a coach and they did executive business coaching. They could have possibly gotten more sales, but they came in late and they left early. So they never really built any relationships with anybody there, as well as, following up afterwards and doing one-on-ones and stuff like that. But, just like what Catherine was saying, come in a little bit early, stay a little bit late, on our hangouts here, we start them right on time, but then stay afterwards. Like right now, we're fixing to close and you can come on with us private here in our small group coaching. So if you are on Zoom, type in Lori Delk, no spaces, all lowercase, and join us for a little bit. We will be live for about 30 more minutes. And if you have any more questions, or if you want to get more on our coaching, go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching for you, or share that page with someone else.
Thank you, Lori. May I add one more thing? Do we have enough time for me to? Okay. So as Lori was talking about her networking group, it got me to think. The speaker didn't make sales at that moment. Maybe they took business cards. What about building profitability partner relationships or strategic alliance relationships? If everybody in the room is a coach and I'm presenting, there might be a customer, a client. I call my clients in my business, The Bridge, ambassador clients, that someone is not able to work with and would want to learn more about me so that they can make that referral to me, to build a bridge. If you're not sticking around, you might be missing that opportunity. So here's a thought. Imagine that you hang out with us on the group and you make comments and you get known and someone is curious about your witty comments. And then they see you in a breakout room, as we call our dining room, and they hear your questions and they think you're really smart or really cool or really whatever. And they take that as an opportunity to reach out to you. Are you leaving money on the table by not showing up?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yes, definitely. Those are such good points. And so at this time, everyone, we are going to sign off publicly. So once again, join our private Zoom room if you would like to speak with us further. And we have about a little bit over 30 more minutes. Talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.